I wish I could take a break for 8 weeks and make a film at the same time. The whole world has opened up to me, but it's too late. It's too late. Why? I'm old. I read stuff, I see things, I want to tell stories, and there's no more time. Kurosawa, when he got his Oscar, when George Lucas and Steven Spielberg gave it to him, he said, I'm only now beginning to see the possibility of what cinema could be, and it's too late. He was 83 at that time, I said. What does he mean? Now I know what he means, said Martin Scorsese to Deadline. His quote shows a poignant amount of introspection, but a legendary filmmaker recently got the opportunity to prove Scorsese's theory at 85 years old, and unfortunately completely flopped. We're here to tell you that Francis Coppola's Megalopolis was not the swan song that we had all hoped for. And we're actually going to have to talk about this twice, which really sucks, because we lost the file last week.
So we watched this 2 weeks ago. It's still very in my head, though. Like, I was thinking about that today. I was just like, I can picture it all still. Like, it is, I guess I have to give him credit for that.
You can just picture yourself in the theater squirming. And
fidgeting and freaking out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We watched it with like a big group of our friends, like 10 people. Yeah. And I felt so guilty for having had them all watch this. Yeah. And because I only get excited about a few movies a year, and this one I'd been hyped for a while. And they all came out with us, and I felt responsible for how bad it was.
Do you ever see movies alone?
I never really have.
I have. I try and think that it's not sad, but it feels pretty sad when you're doing it, I have to say. But I'm really happy I didn't see that alone. Like, I'm just happy I had people to like kind of judge reactions off of.
I feel like some experiences are better alone, like going to museums. Like for me in particular, I'm able to retain way more information if I go by myself. It's actually a bit better of an experience. Yeah. But that movie, like, it was good to decompress afterwards, but I felt like I hated it the most of anyone I've actually talked to.
You had the most skin in the game.
Yeah, but I have a friend who's like a cinephile, and I was texting him about it. I invited him, but he didn't make it out. But he was like, I want to see it even more now because your reaction was so strong.
Yeah, I mean, any I don't know, even a negative reaction is a reaction, I guess. So like it did cause something. I would have said like the worst outcome of the movie would be if it was just very middling. That would be an annoying thing to make an episode out of.
Yeah, it wasn't like 50-50. It was like 99% bad.
Yeah. Though, I don't know, sometimes like when you see a movie and you're like, oh, I see what they were going for, but they didn't land it. I think there's a lot to talk about there. You can talk about the details of like why it didn't happen the way it should have. But with this, it's more like, oh, this was never going to work. Like it fundamentally as a premise does not work. And in terms of like the creator and the process, like no part of this was functioning. And so let's look at that why. Let's look at why.
Yeah. And we're going to look at the movie in its entirety, including spoilers. So if you do have any plans to watch this, maybe don't listen to this episode for a bit. Although you could skip probably, to the 50 halfway mark, because we'll talk about megalopolises in the second half of the episode. So we'll talk about the megalopolis film, but then megalopolises, which are an urbanist term for like giant, massive, sprawling cities where multiple metro areas connect together once their edges touch. And there's many examples, and we'll go through those thoroughly, but we'll start out with the movie. And if you want to listen to this whole episode, you'll have to do so by becoming a Patreon subscriber. Again, it's only $2 a month right now, and I think it's well worth it.
Yeah. For the price of 2 Arizona green teas a month, you can have premium content.
Oh, you know what I just got a flashback to? Have I ever mentioned to you Summer Heights High?
No.
It's like an Australian show.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's like a sort of prequel to it called We Can Be Heroes, and it introduces the character of Jinmei King, who becomes famous on this show she's basically like the Australian version of a Valley Girl, but she goes to a private school, and her thing she's getting famous for on this show is like she basically starves herself to promote aid in Africa in this like very 2000s way. But she has this like school assembly where she starts going around asking kids like, oh, how much did you spend on like lunch today? One kid says $2, and she's like, well, that's 2 kids dead.
I like that a lot. The idea of a Australian Valley Girl is very interesting to me. Maybe I should watch this. Wait, what is this? This is like a live action scripted comedy show?
It's kind of a mockumentary, but it's all on YouTube. It's very easy to watch, which is part of the appeal in America. It's like me in high school. We do have Australian listeners, but they're getting ecstatic because like in high school, all my friends would watch Summer Heights High. I even had like teachers that had seen it. So yeah, it was very popular here too. But he's gotten like canceled for many reasons. But anyways.
Wait, it's not the guy from what's it called? Jamie. It's not that guy's
Oh,
British.
Janae King?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's him. Oh.
Yeah, what did you see, like Janae Private School Girl, or how do you
I've
know?
seen clips of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen clips of that. I just always thought he was like English.
No, Australian.
Oh wow, I should have been able to pick that up. I'm usually very good at that, man.
It's all right.